Good morning, students. So, today we are going to start the very first chapter from our supplementary book, that is, It So Happened. And the name of the chapter is How the Camel Got His Hump. The chapter is written by Rudyard Kipling. Now, we all know that Rudyard Kipling is a very famous writer. He has written the book, The Jungle Book, and that book is also made into a film. So we know that he is a very famous or popular writer, and in his stories we often find animals as characters. So this chapter that we are going to discuss today also has animals as its characters. And as you can make out from the title of the chapter, How the Camel Got His Hump, so it is about a camel and how he got his hump on his back. Now what a hump is? A hump is a round raised mass on the back of a camel or any other animal, or it can also be a sign of an abnormality on the back of a person. We all have seen camels either in our real life or in television or in pictures. We can see a rounded mass on the back of a camel, and that is known as hump. We all know that camel has a hump, but we do not know how he got his hump at his back. The camel has the hump in which he can store his food and water for long days, and that is why he is also known as the ship of the desert, because he can live without water for many days. So we'll start the chapter. The world had just begun and the animals were working for humans. So this world had just begun, and in that world the animals, they used to work for humans. There was one lazy animal that did nothing and said nothing but hump. At present also few animals work for man, and in those days also many animals, they used to work for humans. And there was one lazy animal, and this lazy animal was camel. He said nothing, he did nothing, he used to say only hump. Whenever someone used to come to him and used to ask him for work, he used to say hump. Hump is a word which is used to express doubt or disapproval. At that time, he didn't have any hump on his back. Even the clever jinn was at his wits' end. Wits means intelligence, the ability to think quickly. Now the jinn is usually very clever, but seeing the camel's lethargy or laziness, he was at his wits' end. He was not able to solve this problem. Now, see, in the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel, and he lived in the middle of a howling desert. Now, in the beginning, when the world was just created, the world was new and the animals used to work for man. And there was a camel. He used to live in the middle of a howling desert. Howling means to make a loud cry, okay? A desert. He used to live in a desert because he did not want to work. He used to stay in the middle of the desert because if he'll stay in the middle, no one will be able to find him. And he did not do any work. He ate sticks and thorns and prickles, and when anybody spoke to him, he said hump, just hump and no more. Now he used to eat sticks and thorns and prickles, and if anybody went to him and spoke to him, then he used to say hump, because the camel is so very lazy that he did not want to even talk to anyone. He didn't even want to speak. Presently, the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back and said, Camel, O camel, come out and trot like the rest of us. Now, when other animals are working for humans, the camels would also work for that man, but he is not working. Seeing these other animals, they went to the camel to request him to work. And firstly, the horse went to him on Monday morning, and he had a saddle on his back. Saddle is a seat for a rider placed on the back of a horse. We can see that it is the seat on which someone sits on the back of a horse. And he said that, Camel, oh camel, come out, please come out and trot like that. Trot means to work like rest of us. Okay, you come and work because we are working. Why are you not working? Why are you not doing anything? Hum, said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. Now, as we have already read, that the camel's reply to each and everything is hump and nothing else. So he is not giving any explanation for not working. He did not say anything. He just said hump. Presently, the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, Camel, O camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us. Now, secondly, the dog came and the dog had a stick in his mouth, and the dog requested, or he said to the camel, that Camel, O camel, please come and fetch. Fetch means bring and carry like the rest of us, because all of us are working. Firstly, the horse requested him, now the dog came, but the camel said, Hum, said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. Again, for the second time, the camel's reply was just hump and nothing else, and the dog went away and told this thing to the man. The horse also reported the thing to the man, and the dog also reported that the reply of the camel to the man. Presently, the ox came to him with the yoke on his neck and said, Camel, O camel, come and plow like the rest of us. Now, thirdly, who came? An ox came to him with the yoke on his neck. What is a yoke? A yoke is a frame of wood by which two oxen are joined at the heads or necks for working together. Okay, here everyone is going with the thing which helps him in working. For example, the horse had the saddle on his back, the dog had a stick in his mouth, and the ox had a yoke on his neck. And he said that come and plow like the rest of us. Plow means to use plow to prepare the land for planting. All of us are doing something, we all have distributed our work, so you will also have to work, come and plow or work like the rest of us. Hum, said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. Now again the camel replied hump, and the ox went away and told the man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse and the dog and the ox together and said, 303, I'm very sorry for you, but that hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now. So I'm going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it. Now, at the end of the day, the man called all the three animals, that is the horse, the dog, and the ox, and he said that you three listen this carefully. I'm very sorry for you first of all, because the camel is not working, and that hum thing means the camel will not work. The hum thing or the camel in the desert can't work, so you have to work. Okay, you have to work double time in order to make up for the work of the camel. If the camel would have been intended to work, he would have come here by now, but since he is not coming, it shows that he will not work. That made the three very angry, and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert, and the camel came chewing cud and laughed at them. Then he said, hump, and went away again. Now, this made the three animals very angry, because they have to work double time in order to make up for the work of the camel. So, they held a panchayat, they held a meeting on the edge of the desert. Edge means the boundary. And the camel came chewing cud. Cud is the portion of food which is brought back into the mouth of ruminating animals from their first stomach to be chewed a second time. Now, many animals like cow and camel, they keep on chewing the food for a long time, and that is cud. And the camel came chewing and he laughed at them. He said hump and then went away. He is unapologetic. The camel is not thinking about other animals like the horse or the ox or the dog. He is only thinking about himself, because the other animals have to work double time in order to make up for him. But still the camel is unapologetic. Presently there came along the jinn, who was in charge of all deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. Now, what happened at the time? A jinn came. Now, who is a jinn? According to Muslim mythology, jinn is an intelligent spirit of lower rank than the angels, able to appear in human and animal form. Now, we know about angels. The angels, they have superpower. Jinn are also belonging to the same category, but they are a bit they belong to a lower hierarchy, they belong to a lower rank than angels. But this jinn have the ability to appear in human and animal forms. If you people have watched Aladdin, you must have watched a jinn. It comes when a kettle is rubbed. Okay, so the jinn comes, and jinn of all deserts, said the horse, it is right for anyone to be idle. So the horse said, you are the jinn of all deserts. Please tell me, is it right for anyone to be idle? Idle means not doing any work, to be free, not to do anything. Certainly not, said the jinn. Well, said the horse, There is a thing in the middle of a desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot. So the horse said that, well, there is a thing. This thing that is the camel, he lives in the middle of the desert. He has a long neck and he has long legs, but he doesn't do a stroke of work. Stroke means a single thing, a single movement with a tool, with any tool. He is not doing any work since Monday morning. He will not work. View, said the jinn, whistling. That's my camel. What does he say about it? With an expression of relief, he said that it's an exclamatory remark. He says that what? Oh, that person, that animal who lives in the middle of the desert with long neck and long legs is a camel. And what does he say? What does he say about the work? He says hump and he won't plow, said the ox. The ox replies that he only say hump, he says nothing, and he says that he will not do any work, he will not plow. Very good, said the jinn. I'll hump him if you will kindly wait a minute. So the jinn said, okay, that is very good. The reply of camel is very good, but I will hump him. I will hump him means I will deal with him appropriately. I'll set him right. That means if the camel is not willing to do any work, I will set him right, and after that he will agree to do work. Okay, and you three animals, please wait for a minute. So this is what the jinn gives a solution to the animals regarding the camel's lethargy or his laziness. So he says that I will set him right. So by the words of the jinn, the three animals, they can see a ray of hope, with which they will not be they should not work for double time. They will only have to do their own work, and that will be a very good thing for them. So here we have come to the end of the first part. So tomorrow we'll be discussing the second part.